In the quiet of every heart lies a knowing, a pulse that guides and protects. This inner wisdom is the voice of boundaries, a presence so powerful yet gentle, urging every woman to honor herself fully. Boundaries are not walls but invitations, whispering, "I am here, worthy of respect, worthy of love that sees me as I am." Boundaries are not about limiting, they are about defining the sacred space that is each woman's essence, a garden cultivated through self-awareness and love. First, let every woman recognize her right to her own time. Time is precious, a gift each of us receives, and yet it can be so easily surrendered. Let her be unwavering in claiming her time for her passions, dreams, and the quiet moments that reconnect her to her soul. A partner should respect this and embrace that her time is her own to shape. Next, may she set boundaries around her individuality. In the dance of togetherness, a woman must not lose herself. Her unique passions, quirks, and strengths should remain celebrated. Let her remember that she is more than a reflection of her partner, that her essence is distinct, and her individuality should be honored, never diluted. Then, let her be clear in her expectations for honesty. Truth is the foundation upon which trust grows. A relationship bound by deceit is a shadow without form. Every woman deserves transparency, a love that is open and pure, untouched by secrets or half-truths. This boundary serves as a protector of her heart, ensuring that what she builds is real, not an illusion. In love, boundaries around respect are paramount. Every woman must understand that her dignity is non-negotiable. Disrespect, whether in words or actions, has no place where love truly resides. Let her command a relationship where kindness, understanding, and empathy flourish, a place where she feels cherished in every moment. Physical boundaries are vital and should never be overlooked. Her body is her sanctuary, and it must be respected and valued by her partner. She has the right to decide how she is touched, when and where, and to feel safe and valued in all aspects. This boundary reinforces her sacred sovereignty, reminding her of her strength and control over her being. Emotionally, let her draw boundaries around her mental peace. A loving relationship should be a haven, not a battlefield. Her emotional well-being is precious, and she must not allow it to be disregarded or trampled upon. If a relationship brings more harm than healing, more chaos than calm, then it is not love, but an illusion masquerading as such. Financial boundaries are equally crucial. She should feel no obligation to compromise her financial independence or security. Money, though material, reflects trust and respect in relationships. She should not feel pressured to share, spend, or sacrifice in ways that disrupt her stability. Her financial choices are hers to make, a reflection of her values and life path. There must also be boundaries around her growth. Every woman is on a journey, continuously expanding and evolving. A relationship should nurture this growth, not stifle it. A partner should encourage her aspirations, support her ambitions, and stand beside her as she reaches for her dreams. In love, growth should be celebrated, not feared. Let her set boundaries around her spiritual beliefs. Every woman's connection to the divine, however she defines it, is deeply personal. She must honor her spiritual journey and ensure her beliefs are respected. Her faith, her practices, and her inner compass deserve reverence. A partner should walk beside her, not attempt to alter her path, but respect and support her as she grows in her understanding of the divine. In these boundaries lies the strength of every woman, a strength that is not loud or demanding, but assured and enduring. By honoring these boundaries, she calls forth a love that is true, a partnership that is balanced, and a relationship that is worthy of her deepest self. Let her embrace these boundaries as the foundations of her sacred space, knowing that in her honor lies the truest love she could ever receive. In embracing these boundaries, a woman steps into her own power, affirming that she is whole, complete, and sacred. This is not just an act of courage, but of love, a profound declaration that she honors the essence within herself. Her boundaries are her voice, clear and unwavering, resonating with the truth that she is worthy of respect, that her value is not contingent upon another's approval or understanding. She recognizes that setting boundaries is not a limitation on love, but a channel through which authentic love flows freely, without distortions or shadows. The essence of a woman lies in her ability to love deeply, and yet this love should never require her to diminish her light or betray her own needs. A love that demands her silence, that requires her to compromise her essence, is a love built on illusions. True love invites her to be fully seen and deeply known, to stand as an equal with her partner, rather than a lesser or an extension. She must trust herself enough to say no where no is necessary, to guard the sanctity of her own spirit, for in that refusal lies her power and grace. To every woman, the boundary around her own thoughts is sacred. In the quiet space of her mind, she nurtures her dreams, her fears, her ambitions. This is a garden that no one else can enter without invitation, a realm where she crafts the future she envisions for herself. Her partner should not seek to control her thoughts or mold her perspectives, for true partnership honors individuality. In relationships, merging minds does not mean erasing differences, but celebrating them. By safeguarding her mental space, a woman preserves her clarity, her intuition, and her vision, all of which are gifts she brings into her relationship. When a woman honors the boundary of self-care, she recognizes that her needs are not secondary to anyone else's. Her well-being, both physical and mental, is not a luxury but a necessity. She must not feel guilty for taking time to rest, to heal, to engage in activities that nourish her soul. Her partner, if he truly loves her, will encourage this, for a well-nourished soul shines brighter, contributing to a richer and deeper connection. By honoring this boundary, she asserts that her health, her peace, her joy matter, not just to her but to the health of the relationship as well. In her commitment to self-respect, she learns to listen to her own voice above all others. There is a wisdom within her that knows what feels right, what feels safe, and what feels true. This intuition is a guiding light, an inner compass that never steers her wrong. By setting boundaries, she is essentially following this inner guide, acknowledging that her spirit knows what it needs to thrive. She trusts herself enough to let go of situations, people, and dynamics that no longer serve her. She understands that respect is not something she should have to fight for. It should be given freely by anyone who claims to love her. Boundaries in communication are equally crucial. Every woman should feel safe to express her truth without fear of being silenced or dismissed. Communication in a relationship is not just about exchanging words, but about understanding, listening, and responding with compassion. When she speaks, her words should be met with openness and genuine interest, not defensiveness or criticism. Her partner must make room for her voice, allowing her to express her joys, fears, and dreams without judgment. By honoring this boundary, she reaffirms her place in the relationship as an equal, a partner whose thoughts and feelings are valued. Another boundary she must hold dear is around forgiveness. She understands that forgiveness is a gift she gives herself, a release that frees her from the chains of resentment. But forgiveness does not mean allowing herself to be hurt repeatedly. She can forgive and yet choose to walk away, to protect her heart from further harm. Forgiveness is not a surrender but an affirmation of her worth, a recognition that she deserves peace, not a cycle of pain. This boundary keeps her grounded, reminding her that while her heart may be expansive, it also deserves protection. In the realm of emotional support, a woman must guard her spirit from those who take but do not give, from those who drain her energy without replenishing it. Her role is not to be a healer for everyone, nor to sacrifice her well-being to uplift another continually. She must discern between love and emotional dependency, understanding that a healthy relationship is built on mutual support, not one-sided sacrifice. Her partner should be her equal in this, someone who supports her as much as she supports him, allowing the relationship to flourish in balanced harmony. She should also set a boundary around her dreams and goals, for they are precious manifestations of her soul's calling. In a world that often tells women to sacrifice for others, to put their aspirations aside for the sake of the relationship, it is essential that she protect her dreams. Her ambitions are not selfish, they are expressions of her deepest self, gifts she is meant to bring into the world. A loving partner will encourage her to pursue these dreams, to reach beyond her comfort zone, and to explore her potential fully. In protecting this boundary, she honors not just herself, but the life she is meant to live, the impact she is meant to make. Within the sacred space of intimacy, she must also establish boundaries around her vulnerability. Intimacy is a profound exchange, a connection that demands openness, yet it should never require her to feel exposed or unsafe. Vulnerability should be met with tenderness, with a respect that acknowledges her courage to be seen. She has the right to withhold, to take her time, to feel safe in her own body. A loving partner understands this, honoring her pace, her comfort, and her boundaries within this sacred space. In her silence, a woman must also find strength. She learns that she does not need to explain every boundary, every decision to those who do not understand. Some boundaries are quietly upheld, rooted in the depths of her soul, and need no justification. This silence is not weakness but resilience, an inner knowing that her worth is not dependent on external validation. She trusts herself enough to stand firm, even when others question or criticize. This silence is her power, an unshakable confidence that speaks louder than words. Every woman must also establish a boundary around her emotional energy, being mindful of what she allows into her spirit. She should not absorb the negativity, anger, or frustrations of others. Her peace is sacred, and she has the right to guard it fiercely. In relationships, there will be times of disagreement, of tension, yet these should not compromise her inner calm. She must remain centered, choosing to engage only in energies that uplift, support, and inspire her. Her emotional sanctuary is hers to protect, a place she retreats to when the world grows loud, a reminder that her peace is her responsibility. There is also a boundary around compromise. Relationships thrive on compromise, yet there is a difference between healthy compromise and self-betrayal. She must discern when to bend and when to stand firm, recognizing that true love does not demand the loss of self. She should feel free to negotiate, to express her needs, and to find balance without sacrificing her essence. Compromise in its highest form is an art of balancing two souls, not a demand for one to disappear. By upholding this boundary, she honors both herself and the relationship, allowing love to grow without resentment. In each of these boundaries, a woman reclaims her sovereignty, recognizing that she is a being of immense value, deserving of love that uplifts rather than confines. Her boundaries are her strength, the foundation upon which she builds a relationship that is rooted in respect, love, and mutual honor. Through them, she finds liberation, a love that resonates with her deepest truths, a partnership that aligns with her highest self. Her boundaries are not barriers, they are bridges to a love that is real, a love that acknowledges and cherishes every part of her being. Let her walk with the quiet confidence of knowing that she is enough, that her worth is not negotiable, that her spirit is whole. Through her boundaries, she calls forth a love that aligns with her soul, a relationship that reflects the divinity within her. And as she stands in this sacred space, may she remember that she is worthy of nothing less than a love that respects, honors, and celebrates every boundary she sets. In honoring her boundaries, a woman cultivates an inner sanctuary, a sacred space that nurtures her self-respect and self-love. This sanctuary is not built in defiance of love, but in reverence to the purest form of it, a love that sees her fully and respects her completely. As she commits to these boundaries, she is not simply protecting herself, but embracing her highest self, a version of her that holds fast to her values and aspirations. She realizes that boundaries are an invitation to harmony rather than conflict. By defining the lines where she feels safe, honored, and respected, she sets the tone for the relationship she desires. Her boundaries teach others how to love her, not by demand but by example, and they offer her partner the opportunity to rise to a higher standard of love. These boundaries do not hinder love, they refine it, filtering out any tendencies of control, possessiveness, or disrespect. Each boundary she sets acts as a mirror, reflecting her deep-seated worthiness and reminding her partner of the respect she deserves. Her boundaries also bring clarity to her intentions, creating a relationship that thrives on purpose rather than passivity. When a woman knows her boundaries, she does not enter a relationship with the hope of completing herself or filling an emptiness within. Instead, she comes to love as a whole person, seeking a union of two souls who complement, not complete each other. This wholeness means she can give freely without fear of losing herself. She becomes a partner who gives from abundance, from the knowledge that love should never require her to sacrifice the essence of who she is. In a world that sometimes expects women to compromise endlessly, a woman with boundaries stands as a quiet revolution. She demonstrates that self-sacrifice is not the cornerstone of a healthy relationship. Instead, mutual respect, understanding, and shared growth are. Her boundaries defy any notion that her worth depends on her ability to bend, conform, or shrink to fit someone else's expectations. By standing firm in her values, she redefines what it means to love and to be loved. She allows love to become a shared journey, one where both partners grow side by side, not at the expense of each other's identities. Boundaries teach her patience and discernment. She understands that real love does not rush or pressure but unfolds naturally. When someone truly values her, they will respect her boundaries, seeing them not as obstacles but as signposts of her worth. By waiting for a love that honors these boundaries, she refuses to settle for anything less than what her heart truly deserves. This patience is not passive, it is powerful. It is the assurance that her worth is immutable, that she can wait with grace and faith for a relationship that resonates with her spirit. In her quiet moments, she reflects on the significance of each boundary. She knows they are not just for the present, but for the future she envisions. Her boundaries are her legacy, teaching future generations of women that self-respect and love can coexist, that one does not have to abandon herself to find love. She becomes a living testament to the power of boundaries, to the beauty of a woman who loves deeply but never loses herself in that love. Through her example, she inspires others to seek relationships rooted in honor and mutual respect. Her boundaries allow her to remain in control of her emotions, ensuring that her peace of mind is not easily disturbed. She does not allow herself to be swayed by fleeting emotions or external pressures, for her boundaries anchor her in truth. In a world that often tests her resilience, her boundaries provide a haven, a reminder of who she is beyond any role or relationship. Her self-worth remains intact, grounded in a love that is unshaken by circumstances or opinions. By embracing boundaries, she learns the art of release. She understands that not every relationship is meant to last forever, and that sometimes the greatest act of love is letting go. She releases relationships that do not honor her boundaries, trusting that this act of surrender will create space for connections that do. Her boundaries become a means of filtering out relationships that drain her energy or diminish her spirit. In doing so, she affirms her right to love and be loved in a way that honors her completely. She approaches love with an open heart but guarded wisdom. Her boundaries are the guardians of her soul, ensuring that she does not invest her energy in places where it will not be valued. She does not approach relationships with fear or cynicism, but with a grounded awareness of her own value. Her boundaries serve as a compass, guiding her toward relationships that align with her highest good and away from those that do not. She trusts this inner guidance, knowing that her boundaries are her allies, protecting her from energies that would disrupt her peace. Every boundary she sets serves as an affirmation, a statement to herself and the world that she knows her worth. These boundaries are a declaration of self-love, a commitment to herself that she will not compromise her dignity for fleeting affection or shallow validation. She becomes an embodiment of grace, showing others that love is not about possession but liberation. Her boundaries allow her to love freely, without fear of losing herself, for she knows that her worth is independent of any relationship. Her boundaries are also a form of self-care. By defining what she will and will not accept, she protects her energy, ensuring that her love is not depleted by unhealthy dynamics. She understands that a relationship should be a source of mutual nourishment, a place where both partners can grow and thrive. By maintaining her boundaries, she creates a space of reciprocity, where love flows equally, unburdened by expectations or imbalances. She chooses relationships that uplift her, that encourage her to become her best self, and that celebrate her individuality. In honoring her boundaries, she aligns herself with a higher love, one that transcends superficial connections. She becomes a magnet for partners who respect her, who see her boundaries not as limitations, but as expressions of her integrity. She attracts love that is rooted in sincerity, a love that values her essence, her spirit, and her journey. Through her boundaries, she calls forth a relationship that is both deep and expansive, one that allows her to flourish in all aspects of her being. Boundaries also cultivate resilience, allowing her to weather the storms of relationships without losing herself. She knows that love is not always easy, that challenges will arise, yet her boundaries keep her grounded. They remind her that even in moments of conflict, she has the right to stand in her truth. She does not need to compromise her principles to keep the peace, rather. She can assert herself with grace, choosing honesty over appeasement. Her boundaries empower her to navigate relationships with authenticity, ensuring that she remains true to herself at all times. A woman with boundaries becomes an inspiration to others. Her presence speaks of self-respect, of a love that is both fierce and gentle. She does not seek approval or validation from others, for she has found it within herself. Her boundaries are a testament to her inner strength, a reminder that she is whole and complete on her own. She becomes a beacon of empowerment, showing others that love can coexist with self-respect, that a woman does not have to choose between love and integrity. Her boundaries are a gift to the relationship itself, for they set the stage for true intimacy. By defining her needs and respecting her partners, she creates a relationship that is transparent and genuine. There are no hidden resentments, no unspoken expectations, for her boundaries bring clarity and understanding. She can love openly without reservation, for her boundaries ensure that her love is rooted in truth. In this way, boundaries do not separate, they unite, allowing two individuals to come together in a space of mutual respect and authenticity. In every boundary lies a promise to herself that she will honor her worth, cherish her spirit, and love herself unconditionally. Her boundaries become her legacy, a silent yet powerful affirmation that she is deserving of love that uplifts rather than diminishes. She understands that her boundaries are not an imposition but a gift, a way of inviting her partner into a love that is profound, respectful, and true. Through her boundaries, she cultivates a relationship that reflects her deepest values, one that honors her fully and allows her to thrive. Her boundaries also create a foundation of trust, both within herself and with her partner. When a woman stands firm in what she will and will not accept, she not only strengthens her own self-assurance, but builds a relationship grounded in mutual understanding. Boundaries allow her partner to witness her inner resolve, to see that her love comes not from desperation or dependency, but from genuine affection. In doing so, she invites her partner to honor her trust and respect her autonomy, for a love that is built on trust does not seek to bind or control. It flows freely, unburdened by suspicion or insecurity. Through boundaries, she learns the art of discernment, gaining the wisdom to differentiate between love that nurtures and love that depletes. She no longer invests herself in people or situations that drain her energy, for she has cultivated a deep awareness of her own worth. Boundaries give her the clarity to recognize when a relationship is causing more harm than good, empowering her to walk away with grace rather than resentment. This discernment is not born of bitterness but of self-respect, a quiet acknowledgement that her time and energy are sacred and deserve to be invested in relationships that honor her essence. As she maintains her boundaries, she becomes a woman who embodies grace under pressure. She does not allow herself to be swept away by others' demands or expectations, for her boundaries keep her grounded in her own truth. When others attempt to push against these boundaries, she responds with calm resolve, not anger. She understands that her boundaries are not up for negotiation, and she stands firm without the need for defensiveness. Her quiet strength speaks volumes, teaching those around her that her boundaries are to be respected. This strength is not loud or aggressive, it is a gentle but immovable force that commands respect. Her boundaries also foster a deeper connection with herself, a bond that is unbreakable. As she honors her needs and desires, she grows closer to her own inner wisdom, learning to trust herself more fully. She becomes her own confidant, her own source of validation, no longer seeking approval from the outside world. This self-trust allows her to navigate her relationships with ease, for she no longer doubts her worth or questions her right to be treated with respect. She knows with unshakable certainty that she deserves to be loved and valued for who she truly is. In choosing to live by her boundaries, she redefines the very nature of love. She shows that love is not about merging identities or losing oneself in another. Rather, it is about two individuals coming together in mutual respect, each honoring the other's unique spirit. Her boundaries create a space where both partners can flourish, free from the pressures of conformity. They encourage her partner to see her as she truly is, not as a reflection of their own desires. In this way, her boundaries elevate the relationship, transforming it into a partnership where both are seen, heard, and valued. She realizes that her boundaries are not only a gift to herself but to her partner as well. By setting these boundaries, she offers her partner the opportunity to rise to a higher standard of love. She invites them to love her with intention, to engage in a relationship that is built on respect and reciprocity. Her boundaries challenge her partner to grow, to become more conscious and respectful in their actions. In this way, her boundaries create a partnership that is dynamic and evolving, one that continually nurtures the growth of both individuals. Boundaries also bring her closer to her own intuition, that quiet inner voice that guides her with wisdom and clarity. As she honors her boundaries, she becomes more attuned to this voice, learning to trust its guidance. She no longer second-guesses herself or doubts her decisions, for her intuition becomes her compass, leading her toward relationships that align with her values. This inner guidance empowers her to make choices that honor her truth, allowing her to love with authenticity and clarity. In honoring her boundaries, she cultivates a relationship with herself that is rooted in love and respect. She becomes her own greatest advocate, standing up for herself with quiet confidence. She no longer seeks validation from others, for she knows that her worth is inherent, independent of any relationship. This self-respect radiates from within, attracting relationships that reflect her own inner harmony. She draws to herself partners who appreciate her strength, who see her boundaries not as obstacles but as expressions of her integrity. Her boundaries also bring her peace, a tranquility that comes from knowing she is living in alignment with her own values. She no longer feels the need to compromise her principles or sacrifice her well-being for the sake of a relationship. This peace is her sanctuary, a place of refuge where she can retreat whenever the world becomes overwhelming. Her boundaries protect this peace, ensuring that her relationship is a source of joy rather than turmoil. She learns that true love is gentle, that it nurtures rather than drains, and she refuses to settle for anything less. By setting boundaries, she learns the power of self-advocacy, the art of speaking her truth without apology. She becomes a woman who is unafraid to express her needs, knowing that they are valid and worthy of respect. This self-advocacy is not selfish, it is a reflection of her commitment to live in harmony with her own values. She knows that her needs are not secondary or insignificant, and she does not diminish herself to accommodate others. Instead, she stands tall in her truth, inspiring others to do the same. In her journey of honoring her boundaries, she discovers a profound sense of liberation. She no longer feels confined by societal expectations or external pressures, for her boundaries allow her to live authentically. This freedom is her gift to herself, a testament to her courage to live in alignment with her own values. She becomes a woman who is unapologetically herself, who does not compromise her integrity for the sake of acceptance. Her boundaries are her declaration of self-worth, a reminder that she is enough just as she is. Her boundaries also teach her patience, the ability to wait for a love that honors her fully. She no longer rushes into relationships out of fear of being alone, for she knows that she is whole within herself. This patience allows her to attract a partner who truly values her, who sees her worth and respects her boundaries. She understands that real love is worth the wait, and she trusts that when the time is right, she will find a relationship that resonates with her soul. Boundaries become her guiding light, illuminating the path toward relationships that are healthy and fulfilling. She no longer settles for love that diminishes her, for she knows that she deserves a love that celebrates her. Her boundaries empower her to choose relationships that align with her highest good, that uplift and inspire her. She becomes a woman who is intentional in her love, who does not give her heart away carelessly but cherishes it as the precious gift that it is. As she continues to honor her boundaries, she creates a life that is rich in self-respect and self-love. She surrounds herself with people who uplift her, who honor her boundaries and respect her values. Her relationships become a reflection of her inner strength, a testament to her commitment to herself. She becomes a woman who is both loving and discerning, who knows that true love does not ask her to sacrifice her essence but encourages her to shine even brighter. In honoring her boundaries, she learns that love is not about possession or control but about mutual respect and freedom. She becomes a partner who loves with an open heart, who trusts in the strength of her own boundaries to protect her peace. Her love is both fierce and gentle, a reflection of the harmony she has found within herself. Through her boundaries, she creates a relationship that is rooted in truth, a partnership that honors her fully and allows her to thrive. Her boundaries become a testament to her inner strength, a reminder that she is deserving of love that respects her fully. She no longer accepts anything less than what her heart truly desires, for she knows that she is worthy of a love that is pure and true. Her boundaries empower her to live authentically, to love deeply, and to be loved in return. She becomes a woman who stands in her own power, who loves with both passion and wisdom, creating a relationship that is as beautiful as it is enduring. Through her boundaries, she learns that her life is her own, a sacred journey that she shares with others only by choice, not by obligation. Her relationships become a reflection of her inner world, a testament to the peace, love, and respect she has cultivated within herself. She realizes that love is not a transaction or a means to fill a void, it is an extension of her wholeness. Each boundary she upholds reinforces her inner harmony, making her presence a beacon of calm and confidence in a world that often demands compromise. Her boundaries become a map, guiding her toward relationships that align with her deepest values. She no longer feels pulled in 1,000 directions, trying to meet everyone's expectations. Instead, her boundaries allow her to focus on what truly matters, to invest her energy in relationships that nurture her spirit and bring her joy. She becomes a woman who chooses her connections with intention, who does not allow herself to be distracted by superficial attraction or fleeting passion. Her love is a choice, a conscious decision to give herself fully only when she feels safe and respected. Setting boundaries teaches her the beauty of solitude. She learns that she is complete within herself, that she does not need another to define her or give her life meaning. Her boundaries allow her to enjoy her own company, to find peace in quiet moments of reflection. This solitude becomes a source of strength, a reminder that she is her own anchor, capable of weathering any storm. She no longer fears being alone, for she has discovered the richness of her own inner world. Her boundaries protect this inner sanctuary, ensuring that her relationships enhance her life rather than detract from it. Her boundaries teach her to listen to her inner voice, to trust the wisdom that resides within her. She learns to distinguish between love that is rooted in respect and love that is built on dependency. Her boundaries give her the courage to walk away from relationships that no longer serve her, relationships that drain her energy or undermine her self-worth. She becomes a woman who honors her intuition, who trusts her inner knowing even when others try to persuade her otherwise. Her boundaries are a testament to this self-trust, a reminder that she is her own best guide. As she stands firm in her boundaries, she learns the power of saying no. This no is not a rejection, it is a declaration of self-respect. It is a way of honoring her needs, of prioritizing her well-being over the expectations of others. Each time she says no, she reinforces her commitment to herself, to her own happiness and peace. Her no becomes a boundary that protects her time and energy, allowing her to invest in relationships that are uplifting and reciprocal. She no longer feels the need to explain or justify her no, for she understands that it is a valid response in and of itself. Her boundaries also allow her to say yes with full-hearted joy, knowing that her yes is genuine and free from obligation. When she says yes, it is because she truly wants to, not because she feels pressured or coerced. Her boundaries make her yes a gift, a reflection of her willingness to give herself fully to those she loves. This yes is a testament to her freedom, to her ability to choose her connections with intention and integrity. She no longer says yes out of fear or insecurity, but out of love and joy. Her boundaries transform her yes into an expression of her true self. Through boundaries, she learns that love is not about sacrificing herself for another, but about supporting each other's growth and happiness. She becomes a partner who encourages her loved ones to flourish, who celebrates their successes without losing sight of her own. Her boundaries create a relationship where both partners feel free to pursue their dreams, to become the best versions of themselves. She understands that true love does not confine or restrict, it liberates. Her boundaries allow her to love without losing herself, to give without depleting her own spirit. Her boundaries make her resilient, for she knows that her happiness does not depend on the approval or acceptance of others. She becomes a woman who is content within herself, who does not seek validation from the outside world. This inner contentment is her shield, protecting her from the opinions and judgments of others. Her boundaries reinforce this contentment, allowing her to live authentically and unapologetically. She no longer feels the need to prove herself or conform to others' expectations, for she knows that she is enough just as she is. Boundaries also teach her the value of forgiveness, not as a way to let others off the hook, but as a means of freeing herself from resentment. When others cross her boundaries, she learns to forgive without excusing their behavior, to let go without allowing them to remain in her life. Her boundaries allow her to release anger and bitterness, to move forward with a clear heart. She becomes a woman who forgives for her own peace, who understands that forgiveness is not about the other person, but about liberating herself from the past. In honoring her boundaries, she cultivates a relationship with herself that is rooted in self-compassion. She no longer berates herself for her mistakes or judges herself harshly. Instead, she treats herself with kindness, recognizing that she is a work in progress. Her boundaries allow her to embrace her imperfections, to accept herself as she is while striving to grow. This self-compassion becomes a source of strength, allowing her to move through life with grace and resilience. She no longer seeks perfection, but embraces her humanity, knowing that she is worthy of love and respect just as she is. Through her boundaries, she learns that her time and energy are precious resources, not to be given away carelessly. She becomes intentional with her commitments, choosing to invest herself in relationships and pursuits that align with her values. Her boundaries protect her from burnout, allowing her to maintain a balance between giving and receiving. She understands that her energy is finite, and she honors it by saying no to anything that drains or depletes her. Her boundaries become a way of conserving her strength, ensuring that she is able to show up fully in the relationships that matter. Her boundaries also teach her the art of letting go, of releasing relationships that no longer serve her. She learns that it is okay to outgrow people, to move forward without guilt or regret. Her boundaries give her the courage to walk away from relationships that are toxic or draining, to prioritize her well-being over the expectations of others. She becomes a woman who is unafraid to let go, who understands that not all relationships are meant to last forever. Her boundaries allow her to move on with grace, to honor the lessons learned without clinging to the past. In honoring her boundaries, she creates a life that is rich in joy and fulfillment. She surrounds herself with people who uplift her, who respect her boundaries and appreciate her for who she truly is. Her relationships become a source of nourishment, a reflection of the love and respect she has cultivated within herself. She no longer feels the need to settle or compromise her values, for she knows that she is worthy of a love that honors her fully. Her boundaries create a space where she can thrive, where she can love and be loved in return. Her boundaries become her sanctuary, a place of refuge where she can retreat whenever the world becomes overwhelming. This sanctuary is a reminder of her own strength, a place where she feels safe and at peace. Her boundaries protect this sanctuary, ensuring that she always has a place to return to, a place where she can reconnect with herself. She learns that her peace is sacred, that it is not to be sacrificed for the sake of others. Her boundaries allow her to protect this peace, to live a life that is free from unnecessary conflict or drama. Through boundaries, she learns the power of self-acceptance, the ability to embrace herself fully without shame or apology. She no longer feels the need to hide parts of herself or pretend to be someone she is not. Her boundaries allow her to live authentically, to show up as her true self in every relationship. She becomes a woman who is unapologetically herself, who does not shrink or diminish herself for the sake of others. Her boundaries are a testament to her self-worth, a reminder that she is worthy of love and respect just as she is. Her boundaries also teach her the value of gratitude, of appreciating the relationships that honor her and letting go of those that do not. She learns to cherish the people who respect her boundaries, who support her growth and celebrate her successes. Her boundaries allow her to focus on these positive relationships, to invest her time and energy in connections that are uplifting and fulfilling. She no longer takes these relationships for granted, for she knows that they are a reflection of the love and respect she has cultivated within herself. In the end, her boundaries become her guiding light, allowing her to walk through life with clarity, strength, and peace. They are not walls to keep others out, but rather doors through which only love, respect, and integrity can enter. Each boundary is a choice to honor herself, to protect her spirit, and to create relationships that reflect the fullness of who she is. By setting these boundaries, she creates a life of intention, where love flows freely, unburdened by expectation, and where she stands firm in the truth of her worth. In this space, she finds freedom, fulfillment, and the quiet joy of living as her most authentic self. When God speaks, He does not always use words. His voice can be a whisper in the wind, a stirring in the heart, or even a sign in the physical world. Many are searching for answers, longing to know if the divine is guiding them, yet they overlook the very signs placed before them. To those who have eyes to see and ears to hear, the message of God is ever. There are moments when an unexplained warmth floods the body, as though an unseen presence has wrapped you in its embrace. It is not the heat of the sun, nor the warmth of a fire, but a divine energy that brings peace, comfort, and assurance. This is a physical manifestation of His presence, reminding you that you are not alone, that He walks beside you even when the world feels heavy. Then there are the times when a sudden chill runs down your spine, a shiver that comes from nowhere. It is not fear, nor the coldness of the air, but a deep awareness that something beyond the natural is unfolding. It is as if God Himself has brushed past you, awakening your spirit to a truth you have yet to fully comprehend. This is a moment of divine connection, a signal that you are being called to pay attention to something greater than yourself. A sudden, unexplainable tingling sensation in your hands or feet is another sign. It comes when you are lost in deep thought, when you are praying, or when you are standing at the edge of a decision. It is as though energy is flowing through you, charging you with divine wisdom, urging you to take the next step. This is not a coincidence. It is the touch of the Creator, awakening something dormant within you, stirring the spirit that is eternally connected to Him. There are times when an overwhelming stillness overtakes you. The noise of the world fades, the distractions disappear, and you feel an unshakable peace descend upon you. In this silence, God is speaking. It is a sacred moment, a space where time seems to pause, where all that matters is the presence of the Almighty. This stillness is His way of aligning you with His will, of drawing you closer to the realization that you are already in possession of all that you seek. As you realize, the body reacts when divine truth is near. A racing heart, a sudden surge of energy, a pull in the chest. These are not mere physical reactions. They are the soul recognizing the voice of its Creator. It happens when you hear a message that was meant for you, when a revelation strikes deep within, when something long buried in your subconscious suddenly rises to the surface. The heart knows, the body responds, and the spirit remembers. And then there is the moment when tears fall without reason. Not tears of sorrow, but tears of recognition, of release, of divine understanding. They come when you least expect them, when a simple thought enters your mind, when a song plays, when you feel the weight of something unseen. These tears are the soul's way of acknowledging truth. of responding to the presence of the divine. It is as if God Himself has touched your heart, reminding you that He is near, that He sees you, and that His love for you is beyond measure. The physical world is not separate from the spiritual. The body is not merely flesh, it is a vessel through which the divine speaks. When you learn to recognize these signs, you will realize that God has been speaking to you all along. The body is a vessel, a sacred instrument through which the divine communicates. The unseen, the infinite, the eternal, these realities press upon you, whispering their truths through sensations, through feelings, through an inner knowing that cannot be explained but only experienced. When God speaks, He does not require human language. His voice is written in the very fabric of existence, in the air that moves around you, in the subtle and undeniable signs that manifest within your body. There are times when you awaken in the middle of the night with no explanation. Your heart is still, your body at rest, but something has stirred you from sleep. It is as if an unseen force has called your name, not in words, but in a presence that demands awareness. You look at the clock, and the numbers hold significance, a pattern, a repetition, a reminder that time itself is a message, that the waking of your body is not random, but divinely orchestrated. You sense that there is something you must know, something you must listen for. These moments are sacred. They are an invitation to align yourself with the divine rhythm, to be still and hear what has been placed within you. Sometimes an unexplainable sensation rests upon your shoulders, as though a hand has been placed there. It does not come with fear, but with reassurance, as if an unseen presence is reminding you that you are guided, that you are being led. You may find yourself pausing in the middle of your day, a sudden awareness washing over you that you are not walking this path alone. It is the touch of the divine, a reminder that even when you feel uncertain, even when the road ahead is unclear, you are being carried forward by something greater than yourself. And then there is the moment when your breath catches in your chest, when for no apparent reason you feel as though the air has become heavier with meaning. You pause, feeling the weight of something unseen, the recognition that you are standing at the edge of something profound. This is not anxiety, nor is it fear. It is revelation pressing upon you, a shift in the unseen realms making itself known in the tangible. It happens when a truth is about to be revealed, when a realization is drawing near. You feel it before you understand it. The body knows before the mind catches up. At times, an undeniable pull draws you to a certain place, a certain person, a certain moment. You cannot explain why, but something within you urges you to move, to follow an invisible thread leading you somewhere beyond logic. You hesitate, yet the feeling persists. This is divine direction, the unseen hand of God moving you into position, guiding your steps in ways you cannot yet comprehend. If you listen, if you trust, you will find yourself exactly where you were meant to be. But if you resist, if you ignore the gentle nudging of the Spirit, you will feel the tension, the internal struggle, the unmistakable unrest that comes when you step away from divine alignment. The body is never separate from the spirit. It reacts to truth, it resonates with the voice of the divine even when the conscious mind does not understand. A sudden wave of exhaustion that overtakes you at the exact moment you are about to take the wrong step, a heaviness that warns you when something is not right. This is not just fatigue. It is divine protection. The spirit within you knows what the eyes cannot yet see. It speaks through sensation, through the weight of an invisible force urging you to stop, to reconsider, to turn away from a path that is not meant for you. And just as heaviness warns, lightness affirms. There are moments when an overwhelming peace washes over you, when you feel lighter than air, as though an unseen burden has been lifted. This is divine confirmation. It comes when you have made the right choice, when you have surrendered to the flow of what was always meant to be. The body relaxes, the heart opens, the mind quiets. This is the physical manifestation of walking in divine alignment. It is the feeling of knowing deep within your being that you are exactly where you are supposed to be. Your senses are heightened when the divine is near. Sounds become clearer, colors more vibrant, time seems to slow down. You are no longer lost in the distractions of the world, but fully present, fully aware. You begin to notice things you would have overlooked before. A whisper in the wind that carries meaning, a bird that lands before you at the exact moment you need reassurance. The way the sun breaks through the clouds after a storm. These are not coincidences. These are physical echoes of a spiritual truth. The world itself is speaking, revealing to you what has been hidden in plain sight all along. There are moments when a sensation of warmth fills your chest, a fire that is not of this world. It does not burn, nor does it fade. It is the presence of God moving within you, stirring your spirit, awakening something that has long been dormant. You feel it when you pray, when you meditate, when you surrender. It is the body's recognition of divine truth, the merging of the seen and the unseen. In that moment, you know, without doubt, without question, that you are connected to something greater. And then there is the moment of release. Tears fall, not from sadness, but from a depth of understanding that words cannot reach. It is as though something within you has broken open, as though years of burdens have been lifted in a single breath. You may not have planned for it, you may not even understand it, but the body knows. It recognizes the presence of God, it responds to the nearness of the divine. The tears are not yours alone. They are the outpouring of something greater, the expression of a truth that cannot be spoken, but only felt. The physical world and the spiritual are not separate, they are intertwined, reflections of one another. Your body is not just flesh and bone, it is a temple, a vessel, a sacred instrument through which the divine moves. The signs are always there, waiting for you to notice. God is not distant, nor is he silent. He is speaking, revealing, guiding, through the whispers of your heart, the sensations in your body, the stillness in your soul. When you learn to listen, when you allow yourself to feel, you will realize that the presence of the divine has never been absent. It has always been within you. The body is not separate from the divine. It is the instrument through which the unseen makes itself known. Every sensation, every shift in energy, every unexplained feeling is an invitation to awaken, to listen, to perceive beyond the limitations of the physical world. To the one who is attuned, the body becomes a sacred receiver of divine messages, responding instinctively to the presence of God. There are moments when you feel a sudden change in temperature, a warmth spreading through your body, or a coolness washing over you as though the very air around you has shifted. It comes unbidden, without explanation, and yet it brings with it a deep awareness that something greater is at work. This is not the ordinary response of the body to its environment. It is a direct experience of the spiritual realm pressing upon you, revealing itself through the senses. It may come as a moment of stillness, a pause in time, where you feel cradled in an invisible embrace, knowing without words that you are being held in divine presence. The body speaks in ways the mind cannot always comprehend, a sudden surge of energy, as if something unseen has moved through you, leaving you charged with an intensity that is both exhilarating and calming. You may feel this as a tingling sensation, a vibration that courses through your hands, your feet, your very core, a sign that the spirit is awakening something within you. It is in these moments that clarity comes, not through thought, but through deep knowing. The body, acting as a conduit, responds before the mind catches up, revealing truths that have long been whispered in the depths of your soul. There are times when a weight settles over you, not as a burden, but as a presence, so thick it is almost tangible. It can feel like the air around you has become dense, as though you have stepped into a sacred space where the veil between worlds has thinned. It may happen in prayer, in solitude, in moments when your spirit is open and receptive. The body instinctively recognizes this as holy ground, as an encounter with the unseen, urging you to pause, to listen, to be still, in the presence of something far greater than yourself. And then there are the moments when you feel an unshakable knowing, a conviction that settles into your very bones. You may not understand why, but you are certain of what you must do, where you must go, what path lies ahead. This is divine instruction being impressed upon you, not through logic or reason, but through the deep intelligence of the Spirit that speaks through the body. It is why the heart races before a pivotal moment, why the stomach tightens when something is not right, why a deep peace blankets you when you have made the right decision. The body, when surrendered to divine will, becomes an instrument of revelation, confirming what the Spirit already knows. A sudden pull toward solitude, an overwhelming need to step away from the noise of the world, this too is a sign. It is the Spirit drawing you inward, calling you into communion, preparing you for something yet unseen. You may resist it at first, feeling as though you should be moving, doing, engaging, but the pull persists. The body grows restless in the presence of distraction, yearning instead for silence, for stillness, for the quiet where divine wisdom can be heard. When you heed this call, when you allow yourself to withdraw, you will find that revelation comes effortlessly, not in the chaos of thought, but in the clarity of surrender. And then there are the tears. They come unexpectedly, without warning, without explanation. They may rise during prayer, in the presence of music, in the midst of a simple moment that should not by all logic evoke such emotion. But the body knows. It recognizes truth before the mind can articulate it. These are not tears of sadness, but of release, of recognition, of an inner alignment so profound that the physical form can do nothing but weep in response. So they come when the Spirit moves through you, washing away doubt, fear, resistance, leaving only the raw, unfiltered presence of God. There are moments when the body feels weightless, as if the burdens you have carried for so long have simply vanished. It is a lightness that is not merely emotional, but physical, a tangible lifting of something unseen. This happens when you surrender, when you stop resisting the flow of divine will, when you cease striving and allow yourself to be carried. It is in these moments that you realize how much you were never meant to carry, how much was never yours to hold. The release is total, undeniable, and in its wake comes a freedom so complete that the body itself rejoices, unshackled, unburdened, reborn. And then, without warning, the signs intensify. Time bends in unusual ways. You look at the clock, and the numbers align in a pattern too perfect to be mere coincidence. A name appears repeatedly. A phrase echoes in different places. A vision enters your mind with startling clarity. The body reacts to these synchronicities with an unmistakable surge of recognition, a deep sense that these moments are more than random events. They are messages, confirmations, divine signals sent through the fabric of reality itself, waiting for you to notice. Even the simplest of sensations, the hairs on your arm standing on end, a sudden shiver with no coldness, a gentle pressure upon your forehead, these are the whispers of the unseen, the gentle nudges of divine presence making itself known. They happen when you are in deep thought, when a revelation is near, when truth is about to break through. You may brush them off at first, but the body does not lie. It responds with precision, with certainty, revealing what the conscious mind often ignores. You will begin to notice patterns, rhythms in the way these signs unfold. The more you pay attention, the more undeniable they become. A sudden stillness in a crowded room, a sensation of being watched when no one is there, a pressure in your chest at the moment you are about to speak words that are not yours to say. The body acts as a compass, aligning itself with divine truth, responding to the presence of the sacred even when the eyes cannot see. And then the dreams come, vivid, intense, filled with meaning that lingers long after waking. The body reacts even in sleep, heart pounding at the moment of revelation, breath slowing in the presence of peace, limbs feeling heavy upon waking as though they have traveled beyond the confines of the physical world. The body does not distinguish between the waking and the dream. It knows when the Spirit has spoken, when divine instruction has been given. The dreams are not just visions. They are messages, blueprints, previews of what is unfolding in the unseen. All of this, the sensations, the whispers, the unexplainable pulls and shifts, is not random. It is divine communication taking form within you, reminding you that you are never separate from God. The body is not a cage. It is the sacred vessel through which the Spirit moves, speaks, reveals. Every shiver, every tear, every moment of peace or urgency is a message waiting to be received. To those who are willing to listen, to feel, to trust what is being revealed, the physical world will never again seem ordinary. The body will no longer be seen as a limitation, but as a divine instrument, a bridge between the seen and the unseen. And in that realization, the presence of God will become undeniable, not distant, not hidden, but alive, moving, speaking, waiting for you to recognize that He has been there all along. The breath itself is a messenger. There are moments when it suddenly deepens, as if your body is responding to something greater than what your mind perceives. You inhale with a richness, a fullness, and in that instant you feel something shifting inside of you. The Spirit moves through breath, guiding, comforting, awakening. And just as breath can deepen, it can also still. There are times when everything around you pauses, and for a brief moment, it is as if time no longer exists. You take in air, but the movement is almost imperceptible, like the world has stopped, waiting for you to notice. In that space of silence, something divine is speaking. The message is not always in words, but in the stillness itself, a reminder that you are not alone, that something greater is with you, directing you, calling you to listen. The body knows before the mind does. It feels a pull, a nudge, an unspoken urgency. There are times when you find yourself inexplicably drawn to a certain place, a certain person, a certain action that makes no logical sense. But the body moves forward as if guided by an unseen hand. You walk into a room and feel an instant recognition, as if you have been here before, though you know you have not. Your hands tremble slightly, your heart beats with a rhythm that feels purposeful, as if something beyond you is urging you toward a path you cannot yet see. You cannot explain why, but you know, deeply, instinctively, that you are exactly where you are meant to be. There are times when the body feels an overwhelming peace, an unshakable calm that settles over you like a blanket of stillness. The noise of the world fades into the background, and a sacred quiet surrounds you, as if the very air has been touched by something divine. It can happen in the midst of chaos, in moments where peace seems impossible, yet there it is, strong, steady, unwavering. This peace is not man-made. It is not the result of external circumstances aligning in your favor. It is something far greater, something supernatural. The body recognizes it immediately, surrendering to it, allowing it to seep into every cell, every fiber of your being. This is the peace that surpasses all understanding, the confirmation that God is near, whispering, guiding, embracing you with a presence that cannot be denied. And then there are the moments when the body feels something shift within. You awaken one morning and something is different. You cannot name it, you cannot explain it, but you feel it in your bones. The weight you carried yesterday no longer feels as heavy. The worry that consumed you now seems distant, almost irrelevant. It is as if an unseen hand has lifted something from you, taken what was never meant to be yours. This is grace in motion, divine intervention at work, the unseen rearranging the seen. The body responds with lightness, with a newfound ease, because it recognizes what has happened before the mind does. You have been set free. You have been realigned. You have been touched by the hand of God. The voice of the Spirit does not always come as words. Sometimes it comes as sensation. The tingling at the back of your neck when truth is spoken, the way your skin responds when something resonates deep within you. You feel it before you understand it. A conversation, a song, a passage of scripture, a single phrase that enters your mind without warning, and suddenly the body reacts. The heart rate shifts, the breath catches, the hairs rise, as if the spirit itself is marking this moment as significant. The body knows, the body confirms, the body responds to the presence of truth before the mind can comprehend the weight of what is being revealed. And sometimes the body does not move at all. It becomes heavy, unable to take another step in the wrong direction. There is a resistance, an unseen force holding you back, making it impossible to proceed. You try to push forward, but something within you refuses. The weight is undeniable, pressing, unmoving. This is not fear nor hesitation. It is divine intervention. It is God stopping you before you walk through the wrong door, before you enter a space not meant for you. The body understands even when the mind resists. It signals through exhaustion, through unease, through a complete inability to move forward in a direction that is not aligned with your divine path. If you listen, if you trust, you will see that what feels like limitation is, in truth, protection. There are times when the body aches without explanation, a pressure in the chest, a stirring in the stomach, a sensation that will not fade. It is not illness, it is an awakening. The spirit is calling for something within you to be released, something buried, something hidden. The body carries what the soul is not yet ready to face. And when the time comes for healing, it speaks through sensation. The heart aches not just for itself, but for others, for the world, for something far beyond personal experience. This is the stirring of divine purpose, the preparation for something greater. The discomfort is not punishment, it is transformation. When the pain subsides, when the release has occurred, there is a newness, a freshness, a clarity that was not there before. You have been made new. You have been prepared for what is to come. And then there are the signs that seem almost too obvious to ignore. A word that appears everywhere you go. A song that plays at the exact moment you need to hear it. A stranger who speaks the very thing you were just thinking about. The body reacts before the mind registers the significance. Your breath catches, your pulse quickens, your eyes widen in recognition. This is divine alignment. This is God speaking through the fabric of reality itself, using the world around you to communicate in ways you cannot deny. Your body is not separate from your spirit. It is not merely flesh and bone. It is a vessel, a receiver, a conduit for the divine. The more you listen, the more you trust, the clearer the messages become. The signals are always there, waiting to be noticed, waiting to be understood. The body is not deceived by doubt, not confused by logic, not distracted by the noise of the world. It knows. It has always known. It is waiting for you to listen. It is waiting for you to trust. It is waiting for you to recognize that God has been speaking to you all along. There are moments when your body experiences a sudden burst of energy, a wave of strength that seems to come from nowhere. You may have been exhausted, drained, struggling under the weight of your worries, and then in an instant, something shifts. Your body becomes light, your steps firm, your spirit uplifted. This is not a random occurrence. This is divine energy flowing through you. It is as if the burdens you were carrying have been lifted by unseen hands, as if the very air around you has been charged with a force greater than you. The body does not produce this power on its own. It receives it. And when this happens, when you feel an unexpected surge of vitality, know that you are being strengthened for something ahead. The Spirit does not give energy without purpose. It is a sign that you are stepping into something greater, that you are being prepared for the next stage of your journey. Other times, the body experiences the opposite. A heaviness settles over you, an inexplicable weariness that refuses to be shaken off. It is not physical tiredness, not the result of work or lack of rest, but something deeper. Your limbs feel like they are carrying more than just your own weight. Your mind tells you to keep going, but your body resists. This is not a signal to push harder. It is a divine message telling you to be still. There are seasons where movement is not required, where God is working behind the scenes in ways you cannot yet perceive. The body responds to this unseen activity by urging you to rest, to pause, to allow divine timing to unfold without interference. When the body demands stillness, listen. It is not a sign of weakness, but of alignment, a reminder that sometimes the most powerful action you can take is to wait. There are nights when you wake up at an exact hour again and again without understanding why. The clock may read 3:33 or 4:44 or some other repeated number that you see during the day as well. This is not mere coincidence. Your spirit is being called to attention. The body responds by waking at precise moments, breaking through sleep, as if answering a silent summons. You may feel restless, unable to go back to sleep right away, as if something is urging you to be still and listen. Pay attention to what thoughts come to you in these moments. The Spirit often speaks in the silence of the night, when the noise of the world has quieted, when your heart is open, when there are no distractions. You are being given insight, revelation, direction. The body wakes because the soul is listening, receiving, aligning with divine wisdom that cannot be ignored. You may find that certain places make you feel deeply at peace, as if you have entered sacred ground. The body recognizes the presence of the divine before the mind does. It responds with stillness, with a sense of safety, with an unexplainable knowing. You step into a space and suddenly your breath slows, your shoulders relax, your thoughts clear. It may be a church, a quiet garden, a place in nature, or even a corner of your home. Wherever it is, your body reacts as if it has returned to something familiar, something holy. These are places where the presence of God is especially strong for you, places where you are meant to listen, to receive, to realign with divine purpose. When the body feels at home in certain spaces, take notice. These are the environments where you will be renewed, strengthened, and reminded of who you truly are. And then there are the moments of divine intervention that happen through sensation alone. You feel a hand on your shoulder when no one is there. A warmth spreads through your chest during prayer, wrapping around you like a blanket. A sudden shiver moves down your spine, though the air is not cold. These are not mere bodily reactions, they are divine encounters. The presence of God is not confined to what can be seen. It moves through touch, through feeling, through the unseen energy that flows through all things. The body is sensitive to these encounters, reacting in ways the mind cannot comprehend. You are being reminded that you are never alone, that the divine is closer than you think, that you are being guided, held, and protected in ways beyond human understanding. Sometimes the body trembles, not out of fear, but out of recognition. You may hear words that pierce through your soul, and suddenly your hands shake, your knees feel weak, your heart beats faster. This is a sign that truth has been spoken. The body reacts because the spirit within you knows when something is divinely ordained. The same thing happens when you receive a vision, a dream, a sudden realization that changes everything. The body cannot contain the power of revelation without responding. It is as if the physical form is adjusting to a new level of spiritual awareness, recalibrating itself to accommodate what has just been revealed. Do not dismiss these moments. They are confirmations that you have received something sacred, something meant to transform you. At times, the body experiences an unshakable urge to move. You may feel compelled to walk to a certain place, to call someone you have not spoken to in years, to take an action that makes no logical sense. And when you follow through, you find that what you were led to do was exactly what was needed. This is divine prompting working through the physical. The spirit does not always speak in words. Sometimes it moves through instinct, through a pull so strong that you cannot ignore it. The body is an instrument of divine will, responding before the mind can rationalize. Trust this. When the urge to act is persistent, when every fiber of your being is telling you to go, to move, to reach out, listen. It is not a random thought. It is a directive from something far greater than you. The body also responds to the energy of others. There are times when you meet someone and without explanation, you feel an overwhelming sense of peace or an unshakable discomfort. The spirit within you is communicating through sensation, warning you or welcoming you. You may feel a lightness, a warmth, a deep knowing that you are in the presence of someone who is meant to be in your life, who is being, or you may feel a tightening in your chest, an unease in your stomach, a sense that something is not right. The body does not lie. It senses what the eyes cannot see, perceives what words do not reveal. When you feel peace, lean into it. When you feel resistance, honor it. The spirit is using your physical form as a guide, steering you away from harm and toward alignment with your divine path. There are moments when tears come without reason, when emotions rise to the surface unexpectedly. You may be sitting in silence, listening to music, hearing someone speak, and suddenly you are overwhelmed. These tears are not simply emotion, they are release. The Spirit is moving through you, clearing what no longer serves you, washing away what has been buried too long. The body holds on to what the soul does not yet know how to let go of. And when the time comes for healing, the release happens through tears, through trembling, through a breaking open that leads to something new. Do not resist this. It is a sacred cleansing, a divine renewal. Let it flow. For on the other side of release is clarity, peace, and transformation. The body is not separate from the divine. It is a vessel through which God speaks, moves, and reveals truth. Every sensation, every shift, every unexplainable moment is a signpost pointing you toward something greater. The more you listen, the more you trust, the clearer the messages become. You do not need to look outside yourself for confirmation. The signs have always been within you. God has been speaking all along. The question is, are you listening? Your breath changes when the divine speaks. You may find yourself sighing deeply for no reason, as if releasing something unseen. At times your breath may slow, becoming deep and rhythmic, aligning with a presence that is beyond the physical. And then there are moments when you find yourself holding your breath, not out of fear, but out of reverence, because something profound has just occurred. The body is responding to an unseen presence, to the energy of divine communication. It is as if the breath itself is being used as a vessel to receive messages beyond words. You are being attuned to something higher, something sacred. These are the moments to pause, to acknowledge that the presence of God is near, that something is shifting within you. There are times when your ears begin to ring unexpectedly, a high-pitched frequency that appears and disappears without explanation. It is not simply a physical sensation, it is a spiritual call. The ringing in your ears is often a signal that you are receiving divine information, that your awareness is expanding, that you are tuning in to a higher frequency. It is as if something beyond the physical world is attempting to reach you, and your body is responding before your mind can comprehend it. Do not dismiss these moments. They are invitations to listen, to become still, to receive guidance that is not heard with human ears, but felt deep within the soul. The sensation of warmth is another undeniable sign. You may feel a sudden heat in your hands, as if energy is flowing through them. Your heart may feel as though it is radiating warmth, expanding beyond the limits of your body. This is divine presence manifesting within you. It is the power of love, healing, and spiritual awakening making itself known in a way you cannot deny. Some experience this warmth in prayer, others in moments of deep gratitude, and still others when they are about to step into something they were divinely called to do. The warmth is a confirmation, a reassurance that you are aligned with a purpose greater than yourself. It is the physical sign that what you are feeling is not imagined, it is real, and it is sacred. Enjoy it. Then there are moments when time itself seems to slow. You may be in the middle of an ordinary task when suddenly everything around you feels suspended. The sound of the world quiets, and you become intensely aware of the present moment. It is as if you have stepped outside of time into a space where only the divine exists. This is not an illusion. It is a moment of divine connection, a pause in the noise of life, so that you can receive something vital. Pay attention to what thoughts arise in these moments, to the feelings that emerge. When time slows, the Spirit is near, making space for revelation, for guidance, for an undeniable sense of peace. Sometimes your body will react before your mind understands why. You may walk into a place and immediately feel a shift in energy. Goosebumps may rise on your skin even though the air is warm. A wave of peace may wash over you, signaling that you are in the right place at the right time. Conversely, a sudden tension may appear in your chest, a heaviness pressing against you, warning you that something is not right. The body perceives before the intellect processes. It knows when you are standing in the presence of something holy, and it knows when you are near something that does not serve your highest good. Learn to trust these signals. The Spirit does not require words to speak. It communicates through feeling, through the undeniable language of sensation. There are times when tears come without warning. You may be listening to a song, reading something seemingly simple, or even sitting in silence when emotion rises to the surface. These are not ordinary tears. They are a response to divine presence, to truth that is being revealed to you in ways beyond understanding. They come as a release, as a cleansing, as a sign that something deep within you is shifting. Do not suppress them. Let them flow, for they are washing away what no longer serves you, making room for something new. The Spirit moves through these moments, breaking down barriers, healing wounds you did not even realize were there. The sensation of being watched is another sign that should not be ignored, not in a way that brings fear, but in a way that reminds you that you are never alone. You may feel the presence of something unseen, a warmth surrounding you, an awareness that someone is near. This is divine protection, a reassurance that the Spirit walks with you. Many dismiss these moments as imagination, but they are far more than that. They are reminders that the divine is not distant. It is present, watching over you, guiding you, surrounding you in ways you may not always perceive. You may also find yourself drawn to certain scriptures, certain words, certain phrases that seem to leap out at you unexpectedly. It is as if something beyond yourself is directing your attention, highlighting messages meant specifically for you. Your hands may be guided to open a book to the exact page you need to read. A verse may appear again and again in different places, as if urging you to pay attention. This is not coincidence. This is how the divine speaks, through repetition, through subtle but persistent reminders, through messages that refuse to be ignored. When something keeps appearing in your life, when a certain message keeps calling out to you, do not dismiss it. It is an answer, a direction, a key that unlocks something vital within you. There are times when your physical body will feel lighter, as if you are no longer bound by the weight of the world. You may feel as though you are floating, as though something is lifted from your shoulders without you even realizing it. This is divine release. It happens when burdens are being taken from you, when the Spirit is lifting what you were never meant to carry alone. These moments often come after prayer, after surrender, after letting go of what you once tried to control. When you feel this lightness, know that something has shifted, that the weight you once carried is no longer yours to bear. Sometimes the body experiences sudden, uncontrollable laughter. A joy wells up within you, spilling out in ways you cannot contain. It happens even in the midst of struggle, even when circumstances say you should not feel this way. This is divine joy, a gift given to remind you that your spirit is not bound by the conditions of the world. It is a sign that the Spirit within you is alive, thriving, unshaken. When this laughter comes, embrace it. It is healing. It is freeing. It is evidence that the divine presence is working within you. The body is not separate from the divine. It is a vessel through which divine messages are received. Every sensation, every reaction, every unexplainable moment is a sign pointing you toward something greater. These signs are not coincidences. They are answers, confirmations, reminders that you are being guided every step of the way. The more you listen, the clearer the messages become. You do not have to look outside of yourself for proof. The signs have always been there, speaking through the language of your own body. The question is, are you paying attention? The divine has never been silent. It has always been speaking, always guiding, always revealing itself in ways beyond human comprehension. The body is not just flesh and bone. It is an instrument, a receiver of divine wisdom. Every breath, every sensation, every unexplainable moment is a whisper from the unseen, reminding you that you are never alone. These physical signs are not random occurrences. They are sacred invitations to deepen your awareness, to trust what you feel, to embrace the truth that the Spirit is always near. When you learn to recognize these signs, when you stop dismissing them as mere coincidences, you will step into a new level of connection with the divine. You will begin to trust the guidance that has always been present. You will no longer second-guess the feeling that something greater is unfolding in your life. The language of the Spirit is subtle, yet undeniable. It does not need words. It speaks through the rhythm of your heartbeat, the warmth of your hands, the sudden tear that falls without warning. The question is not whether God is speaking. The question is whether you are willing to listen. The signs are already within you, waiting to be acknowledged. Pay attention, trust what you feel, and know that you are being guided, loved, and watched over. Always.